Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. Today, on behalf of the Migrant Kids Project, we're unpacking a truly vital initiative. We're looking at how a dedicated group of organizations is working to, well, completely reimagine education for migrant children across Europe. This isn't just about high-level policy. It's about fundamentally changing the way we approach integration and learning, making sure every single student has the opportunity to thrive, no matter where they come from. Now, I want you to start by putting yourself in someone else's shoes for a second. Imagine stepping into a brand new school system. But it's not just a new building, right? It's in a country with a completely different language and unfamiliar culture and totally different expectations. How would you navigate that? For a young person, this isn't just a logistical headache. It's an incredibly daunting reality. The cultural gap and that immediate sense of isolation can be, frankly, overwhelming. So this explainer is about how we build a bridge over that exact gap. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the integration challenge, the project mission, our study visits methodology, the results and materials, the European Partner Network, and finally, how you can join the adventure.
Section 1. The Integration Challenge. Navigating New Schools.
When you look at the current migration landscape across Europe, integrating migrants, especially kids, brings some pretty profound challenges. Stepping into a new system is incredibly daunting, like we just talked about, which is exactly why we literally can't just leave it to chance. Leaving it to chance means leaving children behind, and we definitely don't want that. We need a structured, highly supportive approach that actively provides solutions to overcome these heavy language and cultural barriers. It really requires proactive design, not just reactive adjustments after the fact.
Moving on to Section 2, the project mission, bridging the cultural gap.
At its core, Migrant Kids at School is a project absolutely dedicated to mapping out best practices and providing concrete recommendations on how to effectively integrate these kids into educational processes. The ultimate goal here is to create a truly inclusive environment in schools, one that actively promotes equality and justice. The driving force behind this whole mission is the firm belief that every single child must have access to quality education, without exception. And that is exactly why the project focuses so heavily on translating high-level policy into hyper-practical local guides.
Section 3. Study Visits Methodology. Learning on the ground.
So, how do they actually figure out what works? Well, one of the main pillars of the project is conducting study visits to various European countries. This lets the team truly understand local approaches and see integration and inclusion happening in real time. But here's the crucial point. During these visits, they aren't just standing around observing. They're communicating directly with the people living this reality every single day. The principals, the teachers, the school counselors, and of course, the migrant kids and their parents.
Section 4, Results and Materials, Tangible Outputs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast in the actual tangible outputs we're seeing. A perfect example is the English video guide created specifically for foreign parents navigating the Polish school system. Instead of generic advice, it gives them crucial, hyperlocal details, like it breaks down exactly how school canteens work, from enrollment and fee structures to the super important process of reporting allergies. It also demystifies the Rada Rodziców, or Parents' Council, explaining what it actually does and how voluntary financial contributions work. Plus, it clearly outlines student insurance, known as NNW, so parents actually understand their coverage options. That's for the parents. Meanwhile, schools and teachers get policy recommendations, practical tips, and specific strategies for integration. This is what real support looks like, right? Practical, multimedia materials in accessible languages.
Section 5. The European Partner Network. European Collaboration.
This whole initiative is driven by a continent-wide web of expertise. For instance, the Mikołaj Ray Foundation in Poland, who actually spearheaded that Polish school guide we just talked about, is dedicated to integrating kids through the Open Krakow Coalition. Then they're joined by EACEA in the Netherlands, a nonprofit totally focused on social inclusion, youth empowerment, and combating racism through intercultural education. Next up is Spolek Bielagin in the Czech Republic, a key player pushing modern, innovative education trends. Down in Sicily, we've got CIPS, developing participatory educational tools and coordinating a network of over 50 international partners. And finally, CARDIT in Cyprus, a leading center for evidence-based research and education in the Euro-Mediterranean region. Together, they form a remarkably powerful European network.
And our final section, Section 6, Join the Adventure, Support Social Cohesion.
Because of the sheer scale of this European collaboration, it's essential we present this official note. The European Commission's support for the production of this publication does not constitute an endorsement of the contents, which reflects the views only of the authors, and the Commission cannot be held responsible for any use which may be made of the information contained therein.
And as you can see, this vital initiative is officially co-funded by the European Union. It really highlights a collective, continent-wide commitment to solving these educational challenges.
So we end with this question. Are you ready to discover a fresh approach to a mind-changing educational adventure? I highly encourage you to visit migrantkids.eu to learn more and explore these inspiring courses. As we close out this explainer, I want you to ask yourself, how can you take these principles of inclusion and understanding and help shape a more welcoming educational environment in your very own community? Thank you so much for watching and keep learning.